Hey, it's Miley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Saturday, December 2nd. So the moon is going to be in Leo energy all day. This is a fire energy, so we're trying to build a little bit of pep to put back in our step. We're bold, we're brave, we're courageous. We're really kind of tapping into a new passion, a new desire, especially when it comes to our goals. We want to accomplish something. We want to take the initiation on something. We want to take the lead on something. We want to bring something to life, especially that aligns with this new version of self, allowing us to truly express new ideas, new thoughts, new feelings out into the world. And because this Leo energy is trying to kind of put us back in the playful, childlike energy, we're definitely looking at our lives to see where it is that we can infuse a little bit more fun. Now, there are 8 different aspects taking place here today. 7 of them are going to involve the moon. The moon in this Leo energy is going to make a positive interaction to Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information, communication, and how it is that we express ourselves. That is fresh in this Capricorn energy. I'm going to take this little bit of a moment to remind you to take a listen to December's energy forecast, that intro that I put out there, and take a listen to Mercury moving into Capricorn energy. That is definitely going to help paint the picture on what it is that we're going to have to kind of deal with here in December. And it gives us a good overview on where it is that our mental plane is trying to focus in on certain goals, certain paths, certain plans, certain strategies. So of course, the moon is our heart space, Mercury is our head space, and they're getting along right now. They're in alignment. So what we're getting here is new passions, new insights on what we're excited about, what we want to take the lead on, what we want to kind of initiate in our lives. And Mercury being in this Capricorn energy methodically is going to zoom in on these particular details and really construct a framework on how it is that we're going to bring some of these goals to life. The moon is then going to get into the boxing ring, square off with Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings. He's retrograde in Taurus energy. And of course, a square is not fun. It highlights tension. It highlights conflict. Where it is that at this particular moment, the moon in Leo definitely wants to jump into new things, really get the party started. But of course, Jupiter, who is retrograde, internalizing this energy in Taurus energy, is kind of pumping the brakes. We're kind of resisting taking action and making moves, especially on impulse at this point in time. We have a little bit more, I'm going to say, inner transformation, inner growth to do, really building ourselves up in self-confidence, self-esteem, really making sure that we're feeling well equipped, well prepared to jump into these new chapters that, of course, our heart is asking us to pursue. The moon is then going to interact with Neptune. Neptune, of course, is retrograde in its place of power in Pisces energy, ruling over our dreams, our creativity, our intuition, our karma, our imagination. Equally, our confusion and delusion. And so the moon interacting with Neptune in this way, we're really trying to tap into our higher selves. We're really trying to push that fire energy into the imagination realm, where we can conjure up a new vision, new glimpse, if you will, on what it is that we actually want to be manifesting. The moon then trines, beautiful interaction, with the sun. The sun, of course, shining a bright light in Sagittarius energy, showing us where it is that we're moving into a new chapter, a new quest, a new adventure. We're standing in a new truth. We are in experimentation mode. We're in discovery mode. We're in exploration mode. We're really pushing the boundaries of the life, of the version of self that the essential circumstance has created and is no longer in resonation with. And therefore, the moon and the sun coming together in this trine, again, fire on fire energy, trying to rejuvenate our soul, our spirit, trying to pick our soul and spirit up out of the funk, and very much bringing into an illumination, a new awareness within ourselves on what it is that we're excited about, what it is that we would like to bring to life, where it is that we actually want to go out in the world and test the boundaries of these new thoughts, of these new ideas. Now, the only aspect that doesn't involve the moon here today is Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information, communication, and how it is that we express ourselves. Again, fresh in this Capricorn energy, is going to sext sextile with Saturn, who rules over the Capricorn energy that Mercury is in. Of course, Saturn is the Lord of karma. He rules over roles and responsibilities, structures and foundations, willpower and discipline. He's in Pisces energy. So we are formulating a new belief system, that we are kind of building up a new self-confidence, a new, let's call it perseverance, in order for us to kind of rise to the challenge of some of the roles and responsibilities coming with these new soul contracts that we are now kind of better equipped and better prepared to actually jump into. But of course, Mr. Saturn, he brings a little bit of a reality check. Now, lucky for us, this is a beautiful interaction, so we're not going too far down in the darkness with the Debbie Downer, negative Nancy type of perspective. Instead, we're going to ground our thoughts out, and especially come down a little bit from the expectations that we're setting for ourselves, that we're setting for the people around us, that we're actually setting for these new karmic chapters. We are kind of getting focused, we're fine-tuned, we are mentally honed in, if you will, to our long-term goals, our passions, our desires, our ambitions. And of course, Mercury being in this Capricorn energy puts us in a more methodic approach on how it is that we're going to kind of create a system, a plan, a strategy, a structure on how it is that we're going to bring some of these visions, these goals, these ambitions to life. Because we are still kind of back and forth with some of the choices, some of the decisions that are weighing very heavily on our headspace, on our heart space. We are kind of leaning more into the logical, practical, more well thought out option, if you will. Now, again, our senses are heightened. We are definitely more grounded, more logical, more practical than we have been over the last couple of weeks, with Mercury, of course, bouncing around in that Sagittarius energy. But we really have to get grounded in our approach on how it is that we're going to tackle some of these problems, how we're going to kind of tie up the loose ends of our to-do list, how it is that we're going to set down a foundation for us to start building towards some of the things that, of course, we've been percolating on, that have us a little bit excited, that have us checking off all the boxes on why it is that we should break away from the old in order to pursue the new. So it can be very rewarding for us to kind of sit down and deliberately put thoughts and intentions on paper, really kind of understand how it is that we have to approach this new chapter, this new opportunity, and where it is that we have to get our shit together. We got to get organized, make some lists, get real with what it is that you've been pushing off into the back burner, recognize the list of priorities, what has to be tackled first and foremost. We are going to accomplish a lot in a very short amount of time. So then the moon goes ahead and trines Chiron, the wounded healer, who is retrograde in Aries energy. We love this because it's fire on fire action. A trine does kind of suggest that we're making a lot of progress. We are accomplishing a little bit of healing, a little bit of growth, especially with this new identity, this new version of self that we're definitely trying to get used to, trying to get comfortable in. There is a realization where we are seeing ourselves in a different light. We're seeing ourselves more equipped, more capable than we have been seeing ourselves in the previous weeks. And overall, this is kind of stimulating for us. We're feeling empowered. We're feeling like we have what it takes to do what we have to do to bring these new aspirations, inspirations, motivations, dreams, and visions to life. The moon is then going to interact with Venus in a very positive way. Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money, she's in her rulership in Libran energy, trying to smooth things over, trying to kind of create a sense of peace and harmony and balance within herself, within her personal relationships, within her environment once again. The moon, of course, in this Leo energy, very fired up, very passionate, very affectionate, very generous with how it is that we're thinking and feeling, really wanting to express ourselves from the deepest, darkest part of our heart space. Venus, of course, she's having a huge change of heart, a huge revelation, if you will, on where it is that a change of heart is needed in order to kind of readjust the relationship dynamics that we're currently pouring into. Some of them require more time, energy, and attention, while others require more distance. Now, there is a little bit of a back and forth because, of course, Venus and Libra energy is trying to balance those scales out. And because we are really kind of caught up still under this full moon in Gemini energy, where two very different decisions and choice points have been highlighted, at this particular moment, we're feeling good about what it is that we've arrived at, where it is that we've identified, who and what needs to stay, needs to go, who and what is contributing to our overall growth, overall happiness, and really encouraging us to do what is right for ourselves first and foremost. The last thing that we have going on here today is the moon interacting with Mercury once again, but this time it's not as happy-go-lucky. This time it's going to illuminate the difference, the space in between our emotions and our thoughts. Again, emotionally speaking, the moon in Leo wants to initiate, wants to take action, wants to make moves, wants to really put ourselves out there, take those first and I'm going to say primary beginning steps into this new path of excitement. But Mercury, of course, in Capricorn energy is like, no, we haven't thought about this long enough. We haven't sat with the highs, the lows, the everything in between. We haven't thought about the consequences. We haven't thought about the variables. We need a little bit more time to plan, time to really dive into the highs, the lows, the everything in between so that we're not taken by surprise. Again, Mercury in this Capricorn energy, very serious, very somber, very boss-like in understanding that we can't take action willy-nilly. Everything needs a plan. Everything needs a strategy. We don't have the time, energy, or attention to waste at this particular point in time as we are in experimental mode, really quickly approaching that solstice when we are going to be anchoring in this new version of self, the new soul contracts and timelines that come along with it.